Hiya, welcome. So I'm calling this episode 8A. Just going to do a little mini check-in. I don't know if it's allergies. There's been some fires south of us, but my throat is scratchy and I'm a little stuffed up. So just wanted to check in, and we'll be back with another full Ask Ashley episode next week in episode 9. So, try to hold it together without hearing from me fully between now and then. Normally, I release episodes on Wednesday. I'm going to release this one a day early on the 3rd because I want to talk a little bit about the full moon and the lunar eclipse that's happening on March 3rd. This is just going to be a brief little check-in to say hello, and I have a quick request of you all at the end, but I still want to share a quote with you. So I was a high school English teacher for quite a few years, and one of the things that I did at one of the schools I was at was teach A Midsummer Night's Dream. And some of you are saying, oh, yes, I love Shakespeare. And some of you are cursing my name for being that teacher. But I always enjoyed teaching in Midsummer Night's Dream because it's just a pretty lighthearted little play. It can be really funny once you kind of understand the language. And since we're going to talk a little bit about the full moon, lots of moon references in A Midsummer Night's Dream. And we talk in class about how, the moon makes people do crazy things and, activates these parts of us, which is going to come in when we talk about human design in a minute. So want to start out our quote of the day from A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. Well shone, moon. Truly the moon shines with a good grace. And that comes from Act 5, Scene 1 of A Midsummer Night's Dream. If you've never watched the movie, I think it's from like the late 90s. It's got Callista Flockhart, Kevin Kline, Michelle Pfeiffer. Act 5, where they put on the play within a play, is just truly a hilarious scene. And there's a guy that's like playing the moon and holding up this lantern. It's just a comedy of errors, basically. So this year, March 3rd, full moon, total lunar eclipse. I mentioned before there's a book by Dr. Karen Parker. I have it in front of me right now, Quantum Human Design Evolution Guide. And she releases this every year with slight adjustments for the calendar that year, but goes through week by week and talks about, based on the location of the planets and the Earth and all those things. Don't at me, I'm not a science person, but different gates in the chart that can really show up in our lives, whether we have them colored in or not. Energy to be aware of and helping us with creative pursuits to think about in those times, things to let go of during those different solar transits. And so Dr. Karen Parker really talks about how some of the energy of this full moon may be releasing the need to have a plan before you dream. Those who have the gate of patience, one of their lessons to learn is that confusion comes before clarity, that confusion can be a part of the process. So you can see how those could be kind of intertwined. And so something when I was looking at this that resonated with me is releasing the need to know exactly how the dream will play out and just allowing myself to kind of dream it. We're 2 months into the year, and I'm really excited about the connections that I've made in service to my Word of the Year community. I feel like I'm really continuing to build my community in the coaching spaces and the human design spaces and some of these places and around where I live and online. And so this idea of reminding myself to not get so caught up in the what is the end game and just enjoying the process. So some of the prompts that Dr. Karen Parker provides in this Quantum Human Design Evolution Guide, I want to share now. And maybe at this point, you want to pause, grab a pen and a paper, or if you just like to pause the recording and maybe think about these a little bit. If you're driving, maybe save this for later. But questions to sort of think about as we experience this full moon and eclipse, lunar eclipse. What dreams or visions have I been pushing aside because I don't yet know how to bring them to life? Where am I trying to control the outcome instead of trusting the process of divine timing and guidance? What old beliefs or perfectionistic patterns am I ready to release in order to make space for bigger, bolder dreaming? How can I begin to nurture my dreams daily, even if I don't feel ready or have it all figured out? So I feel that for me, the one that sticks out is talking about old beliefs. I feel already this year that I've had a few things that I've said that have made me go, huh, I think that's an old story. And it's been very empowering to spend some time kind of unpacking those and also kind of living the new story. So, for example, I was contemplating whether I should renew my ACC, stick on the ACC path, or go for my PCC. And while I'm going to renew my ACC, I'm also going to go ahead and pursue my PCC in the next few years. So that means kind of taking on another coach training program. And I was talking about this and said, man, I just really don't like sitting in a classroom, like on a Zoom classroom and having to do that and, having to have all that time. And as I said it, I just thought, I don't think that's true anymore. And so that's something, a new story that I'm looking at is that I do enjoy learning in community with others. And I've started to do that and it feels really good. So I want to continue kind of maybe spending some time during this eclipse to continue with that. And then in the next several days after, continuing to sort of reflect on this gate of, patience of we have to go through the confusion to get to the clarity, kind of the messy middle that we sometimes hear about. All right. So hopefully that gives you just a little bit of reflection juice, a little bit of reflection fodder for this week. The other thing I wanted to ask, as I have you here, is I would love to do a few episodes of a rapid fire question. So if you have dabbled in your chart and you would like to know a little bit about a specific gate, if you have a question around your type, send me your short human design questions and I'll plan to do a episode coming up for that. Send those to ashleywatkinscoaching@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you about, some small questions you might have on human design that make it feel meaningful. Even if you'd like me to just, share a little more education, I would welcome those as well. So send me all the questions. All right. So this felt good. Part of too why I wanted to do this besides my scratchy voice is I really wanted to honor my strategy authority. I just was feeling a little uninspired. I had an episode kind of all planned out and just wasn't really feeling it. So giving myself a break, letting myself come back refreshed. I've got a lot of stuff going on. It's the end of the month. Don't we all? Wow, you're so busy. You're busy? I'm not. Yes, we're all busy, but appreciate you hanging with me for just a few minutes here, and we'll be back with episode 9 next week. Happy full moon, happy lunar eclipse, and take care.